Recording in.
Hare Krishna, welcome everybody. We will learn Sloka 3.37 today from Bhagavad Gita. And 3.37 is very nice, very interesting Sloka. It links to 3.36 as well. It starts with Arjuna's questions and the Bhagavan Sri Krishna answers these questions. So we'll cover both. We'll learn 3.37, but we'll touch on 3.36 what the background is, why all of a sudden Krishna is giving this answer. So this is before the answer there was a question, so I'll cover that as well. So I'll recite once in normal pace, one slowly, and then we'll do line by line, and then we'll go in a circle, and then we'll learn very, very easy and very logical as well. This sloka, I find it easy to remember. Hare Krishna. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kama Esha Krodho Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhava Mahasano Mahapapma Videna Vairinam. A little bit slowly. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kama Esha Krodho Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhava Mahasano Mahapapma Videna Miha Vairinam. Let's do sloka line by line. Kama Esa Krodho Esa. Sound is not coming. Everybody seems to be on mute. Please unmute everybody and then we can hear a bit of the sound. Let's start again. Kama Esa Krodho Esa.
Kama Esha Krodho Esha
Rajo Guna Samudbhava
Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha
Mahasano Mahapapma
Mahashano Mahapapma
Videna Miha Vairinam.
Videna Miha Vairinam.
Very easy to understand as well. Kama Esa Krodho Esa. Kama, kamana or desire. Kama Esa or lust. It's in Prabhupada actually calls it lust. Kama Esa Krodho Esa. Where does the lust come from? Comes from Kama Esa. Kama leads to Krodha. We did that earlier. When kamana is not fulfilled, when desire is not fulfilled, it turns into anger. So anger will not cover much. We'll just focus on the kama. Kama esa, krodha esa, rajo guna samudbhava. Samudbhava is born out of, or beginning from, originating from. Where does it come from? The kama, it comes from rajoguna. So rajoguna is the driving force. When somebody is in tamoguna, they don't want to do much. Just sleeping, doing nonsense things, lazy, not, and all the negativity things. But Rajoguna is all the action. I want to earn money. I want to do things. I want to be popular. I want to control everybody, controlling mentality, enjoying. I want to enjoy everything. This is the Rajoguna Bhava of Rajoguna. So where does the lust come from? From the Rajoguna. This is the first line. Kama esa, krodha esa, Rajoguna samudbhava. The lust originates from the Rajoguna, or the mode of passion in English. Prabhupada translates as mode of passion. Mahashano Mahapapma. Mahashano is that all devouring. Devouring is eating. When we eat very quickly, we devour. All eating, all consuming. Mahapapma, very, very sinful. He's talking about the lust. What is the lust? It's mahas. It devours everything. It destroys pretty much everything. And mahapapma is very, very sinful. Videna miha vairinam. Also, videna miha, let's understand. Vidya is know that. Vairinam is a very, it's enemy. So I'll read Prabhupada's translation. He translates very nicely, much better than what I can say. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is lost only, Arjuna, which is born out of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world." Okay, so this is the meaning. So let's do the practice and we'll cover the background. Why is Krishna saying this? Okay, let's start with Aditi Mataji. You can start. You can say all sloka. I think you're pretty good at slokas. We'll go around. Aditi, Aditya, ask to unmute. I think she's, looks like it's frozen for some reason. Raja, are you there?
We can hear you.
Okay, we'll go with Aditi Hare Krishna. You can recite, please.
Bhagavad Gita Shlok 3.37 Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kama Esha Krodha Esha Gurajo Guna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapapma Vidhi Enam Miha Vairinam.
Nice, thank you so much. Sandeep Prabhu and Vijay Mataji, you can recite.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha Mahasano Mahapampa Vidyayenam Miha Vairinam.
Yes, Prabhuji. Viddenamiha vairinam mahasano mahapapma. Okay, let's start line. The second line and third line. Mahasano mahapapma
Mahasano Mahapapma
viddenamiha vairinam.
Vidyenamiha Vairanam.
Very nice, Raja.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyena Miha Vairinam.
Very nice. Sanjita Mataji, Parvati Mataji, you can unmute and recite. Parvati Mataji, Sanjita Mataji, if you are still available, you can unmute and recite, please. That's okay. Will not seems like not available now. So we'll just cover a bit of the background and then we'll come back. So why does Krishna say this sloka? Because there was a bit of a disturbance in the recording, so I'll just recite the sloka again and we'll start the background. Sri Bhagavan Kama Esa Krodho Esa Rajo Guna Samudbhava Mahasano Mahapapma Videna Viha Vairinam. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is lost only, Arjuna, which is born out of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is all devouring, sinful enemy of the world." So why does Krishna say this one? Because there's a lot of slokas are in between 27 and 36. And 36 Arjuna asks actually. He asks Arjuna Uvacha Atha Kena Prayuktoyam Papam Sarati Purusha Anitsan Brashneya Baladina Niyojita. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts? By what is one, that is us, impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force. When I read about this sloka, this is so true. Arjuna is asking this so relevant question. I was so happy that we should all ask these questions. We know lots of things, right? We know lots of things. We should eat healthy, right? We know that, everybody knows. We still eat what? Junk food. We still love junk food. We know exercise. We know we should exercise regularly, control our weight. Are we doing it? Sometimes, not much, not regularly at least. We know that, everybody knows. We should get up early in the morning, do our sadhana, all those things. And very, very tough to get up. Even if we get up, it's like somebody is dragging us to sleep there, right? Arjuna asked this question, why is somebody dragging? It just feels like, Arjuna says, as if engaged by force, right? So it just feels like somebody is dragging us to eat these unhealthy things. Somebody is dragging us not to do exercise and just sit on the sofa and watch television. Somebody is just forcing us to sleep more and more. Who is doing this? What is doing this? This is Arjuna's question. Very, very, very nice question. And so, yeah, something is delaying. Even if we want to do good things, like this delay, we don't do it immediately. But if this is something not so good, we immediately attracted. So this is again question, very relevant question. So Krishna says, Kama esha, Krodha esha. Krodha esha is what follows after Kama when it's not fulfilled. But he just drills down to one thing. Arjuna, it is Kama only, he says. Kama esha, Krodha esha. Rajo Guna Samad. Where does it come from? From Raja Guna. Mahashano Mahapapma. And he defines it. What does it do? It's devouring. All is devouring. It just eats up everything. It just destroys everything. And then it's the Mahasano Mahapapma. It's also sinful. What is this? Lust. Devouring, all sinful. And Mahasano Mahapapma Vidyena Miha. Also know Arjun. Vairinam. It's an enemy. It's a big enemy as well. Okay, so this is lust. What is lust? Lust is desire. Kama. Kama is a krodha, is a kama is desire. So which originates from Rajaguna? Lust is desire. It can be anything. It can be sensual pleasure, bodily pleasure. That's also lust. Like on illicit relationship, we have some lust for others' wives. That's lust. Lust for power, that's also lust. Desire, lust for control, lust for pleasure, lust for fame. All these. It's basically comes down to two things: control and enjoyment. Bhakta. There's a sloka comes. We'll learn this one. So Bhaktaram Yagya Tapasam. When somebody thinks that he is the karta and he is the bhokta. Okay, so this is where everything originates, and the lust also comes from there. When I want to enjoy myself, I'm the karta, I'm doing everything, and I am here to enjoy myself. So this is karta bhav and the bhokta bhav. Okay, when we identify ourselves as the karta and the bhokta, that's where the lust comes from. Desire is not bad. Desire directed to, so if we, for example, who is the karta? The Lord, Supreme Lord is the karta, and he is the bhokta. Okay, this sloka comes. Bhoktaram yegya tapasam sarvaloka maheswaram suhirdam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam santrimicchati. We'll study this sloka, 5.29. It's called Santi mantra, Santi or peace formula. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam. When we understand that we are not the bhokta, the Lord Krishna is the bhokta, and that gives us the first word and the last word, that gives us peace. So there's a bhajan as well. Karte ho tum kanaya, mera naam ho raha hai. That's all. These are all leading to that we are only nimitta matra. Someone is doing it. Someone is making us do things, but we are just doing it nimitta matra. So should there be no desire? How is desire? Is it possible to completely get rid of desire and attachments? Shastra says not possible. There's lots of, I'm not saying this. Shastra says lots of examples in Srimad Bhagavatam. There was a story of Rishi Vishwamitra. Imagine Vishwamitra. What are we? We are nothing compared to Vishwamitra. He was a rishi, but he fell for Apsara Menaka. Just jingling of the ornaments she was wearing, and that was enough for Vishwamitra to get attracted to her. He fell for her. There's another story comes of Sauvari Muni. Sauvari Muni wanted to do tapasya on the water. because there's so much distraction outside the water. We go on the tram and train and uni, and there's so many things we see we don't want to see, right? But Savari Muni said, I don't want to see any of them. He said, he went under the water for tapasya. What happened? One day he saw two fish mating on the water. And then that was enough for him to desire to, develop sex desires. And he actually ended up coming out of the water, and he married, and not only one, I think he married 50 daughters of some Rishi Muni. I don't know the full story, but Sauvari Muni, you can Google on the internet. Very, very interesting, very popular story in Srimad Bhagavatam. Desire, Sauvari, Sauvhari, Sauvari Muni. And so what we can do, so it's not possible, even the great rishis, munis, they cannot control their senses, they cannot detach themselves. So who are we to detach? We cannot. So there's, it's called detachment without attachment is not effective. So if we just desire, I don't want to eat this, I don't want to eat this, then it doesn't work because we fall for it. But if we just divert our attention from the desire to attachment, so from detachment to attachment, if we focus our attention to the Lord, the Krishna, so if we say rather than us being the Bhakta and Karta, we accept that Karta and Bhakta is Krishna, Lord Krishna. And then all our activities, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well, all we can do our activities, but remember Krishna. Krishna says, I think 8.7, I've written down here, if I'm not wrong, in my notes, that Krishna says, do your war, fight, but all the time remember me. This is what Arjuna's answer is, Krishna's answer to Arjuna is. He says, you are asking me to fight? This is violence. Why are you engaging me in violence? He says, you will not incur any sin if you always remember me and fight. You do your duty all the time, you remember me. So this is something learning point for us. If we remember Krishna all the time, if we treat him as the Bhakta or the Karta and just do our duty as a nimitta, we're just, we're just the puppets in his hands, and we're just doing our duty. Whatever is prescribed our duty, we students, we study, our employees, we go and do work. As grihastha, we look after our family. As children, we look after our parents. So this seems like physical menial work, but it can be devotional service. Because if some non-devotees do those same things, because they're doing it for themselves, for enjoyment. Why? Krishna, they're raising their children. Why? Because they, in the hope that someday these children will look after them in old age. So that is the bhakta and enjoyer mentality. Okay, I'll enjoy it from these children. But what is the devotees mentality? They're doing the same thing. They're dropping school children to school. They're feeding them. They're packing their lunch boxes. But what is in their mind? Because these are Krishna's children, I'm just raising them, right? So that way it doesn't become a burden. So what is study? Students, they can also practice this as well. Study becomes a burden zone. So much things to do. Why? Because if we think that, okay, the karmi is what they do, I'll study hard, I'll make some money, I'll go on holidays, I'll enjoy, and then I'll show off this and that. So there's all this bhakta mentality, karta and bhakta. But if we just, if we don't tell that to Krishna, I will study, learn nicely, and then I will use my knowledge in some service of Krishna, whether it's teaching others about Bhagavad Gita slokas or Bhagavatam or some stories, or raising Krishna or using this knowledge to get a good job, getting some money, raising that money, using that money for raising Krishna consciousness children, getting married, helping the husband, bring everybody around in Krishna consciousness. That becomes the same thing. Activity is the same, just the thinking, just the mentality is different. And that becomes non-attaching. So this part is, if we do our duty, understanding that Lord is the Karta and the Bhakta, and this is liberating. But if we do all of the same thing, exact same thing, with the understanding that I am the Bhakta and I am the Karta, then it is entangling. It just entangles more and more into this material world. Okay, so that is the thing. That's all. I will not say too much because we're a small group. Let's share our experiences. So, Hare Krishna, that wraps up our 3.37, and there's only 3 slokas for chapter 3. All right, so please unmute. We've got about 7 minutes.
One question.
Yes.
When Krishna said to Arjuna, "You do your duty and leave the rest to me," but in general, when we do certain things, we automatically attract karma. In this
Yes.
case,
Yes.
don't Arjuna attract karma?
Yes, Prabhuji. These karma, these 3 things we learned in our class.
Yeah.
Karma, bikarma, and akarma. So when we say karma, we understand only. A lot of the times we just hear about karma. Sometimes bikarma we hear. Duskarma or bikarma. It's the bad karma, right? These are 2 easy to understand. So karma is just a neutral word, right? So let's define specifically karma, bikarma, sorry, and akarma. Akarma is defined as something working for the Lord's pleasure. So if we follow Krishna's instructions, then he says you will not incur any sins or any karma. And this is example was given to us. I'll just repeat what I hear, Prabhuji. This is not my example, not my learning, but what we have heard from senior acharyas is this is like somebody, let's say army, this example is given a lot of the times. One army person, he goes to war, right? He goes to, let's say, India-Pakistan war, and the Indian army kills, say, let's not name, sorry, I might get into trouble. So let's say, I take that back, shouldn't be naming countries. Let's say one country army, he goes to the other country and then kills, say, 20 soldiers or 100 soldiers. Then he gets a medal. Why? Because he's working for the government, because he's sanctioned by the government. We can treat the Lord like the government, right? Prime Minister. Okay, he gets a bravery medal. The same person, same army, finishes the war, comes home, and there's a small fight with the neighbor, and with the same gun, he shoots his neighbor. He just doesn't like him. What happens then? He goes to jail. So this is example given to us. One example. The other example I can remember is in the traffic light. If we go through red light, we get fined. Camera catches us, sends us demerit points. But the police cars, the emergency, the ambulance, and the fire engine, they just go through red light and nobody, they don't get fined because they're working for the government. So these are the 2 examples. Similarly, I can remember, Prabhuji, that if we are working for Krishna in that consciousness, then we don't incur the sin.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. You can share your experience, Aditi or Radha. You can share your experience from previous slokas, 3.21 or 3.37 or this one. Let's focus on chapter 3 only. Any learning points from this sloka or the past 2 slokas of chapter 3, please share. Because this is just an interactive program. It's not like me being guru and telling you what to do. It's not like that. We're just beginners. So I just started this for many, many years. I was not even like you. You are coming nicely and coming. I was just objecting to anything spiritual or religious. I was saying, okay, this is all the Rudiwadi, all the Western countries, they have gone to the moon and they've developed so much. When I came to Australia, I said, wow, this is amazing, and all these religions are holding us back. That's what I used to think, but it's not true actually. Nothing is holding us back. These are not the causes. So you can share any of your experiences, Aditi or Raza, anything. Unmute, please share. We're not volunteering. I'll pick Roja first.
For this shloka that we learned today, how it says how the karma is the reason for like unwanted desires and not the right ones, but is there like situations where that karma also can be used for good desires and some like kind of uplifting instead of just the bad desires instead?
Yes, so any desire, I think again, I'll tell you what I've heard, that any desire or any work, anything that takes us closer to Krishna or closer to the God, like if you don't believe in Krishna or anything that takes us closer to the Lord or the Supreme Personality or the Supreme Energy. Anything, activity, any thinking, any desire, any karma, anything that takes us towards that, that is good. It's defined as good karma or good thinking or good desire. But that anything that takes us away from that, then it is not, it's not thought as a good thing in a spiritual sense, at least. So every time, so we can try, okay, so what do I want to have? I want to have go to McDonald's. Sorry, I should name again. I want to have some, I've got this habit of naming. I can get into trouble. McDonald can sue me for defamation. I shouldn't be saying that. I take that back. So we take some said we take some we have some desire for taking some non, let's say some food that comes from violence, right? So let's use that test, right? Will it take us closer? Will it help us develop our spiritual practice or bring it a little bit down? It will a little bit down, right? It will take us a little bit away from Krishna, not closer to Krishna, right? So if we get, let's say, if we get really angry at someone, I'm just making these things up as I go, but I may not be correct. I may not be able to explain it. But let's say we get mad at someone, right? So is it for our own pleasure if we are mad at someone because we think that we are the bhakta, that person should listen to me because I'm the boss, I'm the karta, I'm the bhakta? Or that same anger, somebody can be directed because if somebody is abusing Krishna, somebody is say blaspheming God, or somebody is not doing properly, they're doing some bad things like anything. They can be throwing dust at, let's say, at Krishna's murti, let's say, or vigraha. Then if we get angry, the same anger, right? Now, will it take us a little bit closer to Krishna? A spiritual, more will become more spiritual, more bhakta, or less? A little bit more. I think we'll probably go. I think Krishna, any god, like any superior, it will probably help us go a little bit closer because we are at the service, and then anger is bad. Like even this sloka says, anger is bad, but